need to be quite timely, so we need to wrap this up on time and be at the jetty by 6:30 p.m. because we will be departing to the island where we'll be having our dinner at 6:30 p.m. And about right, so let's start. I'll give over to Miss Mena.
Can I go down there? Because
Yes, please.
I actually have some briefing. Thank you so much to the Government of Maldives and the Union for this honor to be with you all today. Honorable speakers, Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, and delegates. So I'm here to speak with you about malnutrition. What I'd like to do today is to actually transform how you think about malnutrition. And to do that, I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself. I'd like, wonderful. All right, about me. I'm a nutrition researcher, I'm an educator, and I've been called a factivist. I like data to tell stories. Studied in India and in the United States. I've worked in Haiti, Bangladesh, India, Nepal, and Ethiopia. My core belief is that knowledge is power. For us, that knowledge comes from research. And my second core belief is that with that power, we have the ability to make change. My third core belief, which really comes from Mother Teresa, is that everyone can make change from wherever you are. Every drop of water in the ocean counts. So with that, let me tell you why I care about malnutrition and why I think you should care about it. So firstly, the consequences of malnutrition are really far. It is a major contributor to child survival. It is by far, the biggest driver of the diseases that affect our children. It has huge consequences for cognitive development and has huge intergenerational impact. And last but not least, it contributes to our economy. Here is a number that you should all remember, 45%. 45% is the proportion of children who die of infectious diseases who would not die if they were not malnourished. Here is another number you should remember, $16 to $1. That is the return on investment that governments can get when they invest in preventing malnutrition. Your economies are growing even faster than the average that generated your number. Your returns are even greater. So we should invest in malnutrition because it's a human right, because it keeps children alive and thriving, because it promotes intergenerational equity, and because of the economic benefits. So I offer you another number that I would really like for you to remember. This is 2 equals 17. 2 is SDG 2. It is related to every SDG out there, and every SDG contributes to it. So please remember these numbers, 45, 16, and 2 equals 17, all right? Now, what does it look like for us in the region? I don't want you to worry about where countries are. I just want you to know that undernutrition, so we worry both about undernutrition. The pictures you typically see of malnutrition are of children who look too short, too wasted, so we worry about that. We worry about anemia among women, and it's quite prevalent across the region. But we also worry about other forms of malnutrition: overweight, obesity, non-communicable diseases such as diabetes, and high adult blood pressure. These are also malnutrition-related diseases, and they're related both to where you're born and to what happens through the rest of the lifestyle. What we have understood now is that being born healthy in the first 1,000 days, and then being healthy in those first 1,000 days, so from conception to the first 2 years of a person's life, has consequences and benefits not just for their nutrition as children, but also for where they end up as adults. So our nations today face multiple challenges of malnutrition, and we can really resolve quite a few of them by focusing in on the first 1,000 days. But we can't stop there. Staying healthy, eating healthy foods, and staying fit are important through our lifestyle. Now, I want to talk about very quickly about the three systems that when they fail, lead us to malnutrition in all its forms. So the first is the social system. And here I speak mostly to issues of gender equity, and social equity in general. The second is health systems. So when health systems don't deliver either health, or when they don't integrate nutrition into those health systems, we have a problem. And the last but not least, really important, is the food system. So the social issue that I really want to draw your attention to that affects child malnutrition in this region are the two things in the block there: women's education and age at marriage. So across the region, girls have not been to school for long enough. And in too many countries and too many parts of the region, they're getting married too early. This is having consequences both for them and for their children and for the future of the country. The second is the issue of health systems. So across most of the South Asian countries, in fact, we have fairly robust health systems that have come into place. The challenge with these health systems today in the region is universality, equity, and quality. So from the perspective of nutrition, we are worried, and we want to make sure that in your conversations about universal healthcare, nutrition is included in it for the first 1,000 days. Now let me move to food, because that's a really big one. So you may have heard a lot about food systems, but in the world of nutrition and health, and in fact in the food systems world as it relates to health, we've started to talk about food environments. So food environments is the food that's around us. That's what affects what we do on a day-to-day basis. Each and every one of us engages with food multiple times a day. How we engage with that food is related to our food environments. And so food environments are shaped by public programs, they're shaped by markets, they're shaped by the industry quite dramatically. And all of that really comes together to define what we do every single day, right? Consumer preferences, our cultures, our food cultures, our choices, the ways in which we interact with food and how food is a part of our life also affects what we do. So I want to show you a fun picture. This is from one district in India, and it's just such a great example of how these multiple types of food systems come to reach the same households and the same communities. So we have here food from public programs, we have food that people grow themselves, and we have the food that has started, actually not just started, has really seeped into all of our markets. So the things the other thing that shapes what we do when we engage with food is information. And today you have information coming from two different sources usually. One is your public health community, your government nutrition campaigns, and your nutritionists and your dietitians telling you what you should do and not do. The second, which to us is a very scary information system, is advertising, is the onslaught of information that shapes what people do and don't do around food. We're very concerned about this from the perspective of ultra-processed foods. In my own research recently, these are data from rural tribal districts in India, where we found that even there, despite people eating healthy foods, on that graph on the left side, almost 100% of babies under 2 had been fed biscuits, salted snack, about a third had tasted instant noodles. As a nutritionist, this scares me. Another study in Nepal found that babies were getting 25% of their daily calories from junk food. So again, huge role for all of you as legislators. You can change advertising, you can change the marketing of foods like this. I want to end on a very positive note. I know we sound like doomsday professionals sometimes, but one of the things that we have been studying in our research is success cases. And what we've learned is that success stories for malnutrition abound across the region. There's a whole body of researchers, prominent global and regional researchers who are studying through rigorous methods, case studies of successes in the region. We hope to be able to share these with political leaders and others in due course of time. But for me, the biggest thing that comes out from that, it is a lot of things have to come together to improve what happens in the space of nutrition. Reductions in poverty, changes in the food environment, particularly changes in how girls and women are sort of treated through society. But we want to move from just stating problems to really showcasing success cases in malnutrition. So I want to leave you with a superhero. It's maybe the first time the chamber has seen a superhero, other than the amazing speakers and other parliamentarians, of course. I believe that we have the power and therefore a great responsibility to help improve nutrition. It will take work. It will take work that all of you do on a daily basis. It will take work to address the social system in terms of gender and equity-related determinants. It will take work to scale up nutrition in health systems and to improve the flow of nutrition, of better information, to consumers. You must control the marketing of junk food. You must control that. This is in the power of legislation. You must try to improve the quality of food that's available in public programs. And we must ensure that better data is available. Today we are tracking SDG outcomes, but it's quite important we track action, because that is the only way we know if we are making progress. So I want to thank you again for your time. Thank you for having me here, and I'm very happy to answer questions today and through the evening and late. And I promise I won't look at what anybody is.
Thank you very much, Purnima. I'll open up the floor for any questions or any interventions.
Madam Chairperson, can I add some more points in this?
Yes, please.
Madam Chairperson and distinguished delegates, India is strongly committed to Agenda 2030, and much of its development agenda is aimed at achieving the Sustainable Development Goals with due focus on Goal 2 and 3. As we all know, South Asia, including India, still faces the challenge of hunger burden. Over 15% of the population in this sub-region is considered undernourished. This poses a big challenge before us, as South Asia is home to over 1/4 of the world's population. Honorable delegates, in view of higher incidence of maternal and child undernutrition, India has made a strong constitutional and legislative commitments to achieve the targets under SDG 2 and 3 in time. In order to tackle this challenge, policies, programs and schemes have been redesigned and launched in mission mode in India. Today, we have a wide range of national programs that contribute to improved nutrition outcomes, addressing both the immediate and the underlying determinants of undernutrition through nutrition-specific and nutrition-sensitive interventions. Our nutrition-specific programs include the National Nutrition Mission, renamed as Poshan Abhiyan. It is a multi-ministerial convergence mission with the vision to make India multi-nutrition free by 2022. Our nutrition-sensitive interventions include programs such as National Rural Drinking Water Program and India's biggest social drive, the Swachh Bharat Mission. It has been launched in 2014 to achieve universal sanitation coverage and to improve general hygiene and cleanliness by eliminating open defecations in the country by 2nd October 2019, the birthday of Mahatma Gandhi. As a result, 32 states and union territories have been declared open defecation free so far. Under our National Food Security Mission launched in 2007, the targeted additional production of grains and pulses have been a big success, record one. Besides, the National Food Security Act seeks to cover up to 75% of the rural population and up to 50% of the urban population. for receiving highly subsidized food grains through the targeted public distribution system, thus covering about 2/3 of the population of the country. With only 3% of the world's land area and a quarter of the global population living in South Asia, we understand the importance of sustainable agriculture both in terms of efficient resource use and food security. Towards this end, we have formulated the National Mission for Sustainable Agriculture for enhancing agriculture productivity, especially in rain-fed areas, focusing on integrated farming, water use efficiency, soil health management, and synergizing resource conservation. Several schemes have been implemented for this purpose in mission mode. As the SDG 3 aims at ensuring the people a level of health and enables them to lead a socially and economically productive life, we take nutrition as a prime mover for promoting maternal, child, and adolescents' health. Our present national health policy takes into account the negative impact of malnutrition on the human productivity and its contribution to mortality rates in the country. Our ongoing national rural health mission takes into account the issues of malnutrition in several of its programs. Primary health care has been largely focused on communicable diseases and reproductive, maternal, newborn, child, and adolescents' health, which we call RMNCH+A strategic approach. Capacity building of frontline health workers and comprehensive information, education, and communication campaigns are also undertaken under this scheme. Specific interventions like the half-yearly National Deworming Day and monthly Village Health and Nutrition Days are conducted for addressing the nutritional concerns in respect of children, pregnant women, and lactating mothers. The Government of India is committed to ensuring the highest possible level of health and well-being for all through a preventive and promotive healthcare orientation in developmental policies and universal access to good quality healthcare services without anyone having to face financial hardship. Our government has launched the Ayushman Bharat as a comprehensive need-based healthcare service. It adopts a two-pronged approach. Firstly, the creation of health and wellness centers to bring healthcare closer to homes. Secondly, a scheme has been launched to protect the poor and vulnerable families against financial risk arising out of catastrophic health episodes. This scheme is one of significant step towards the achieving of universal health coverage under SDG 3. This scheme will provide financial protection to cover 10.74 crore vulnerable entities' families. Again, I will repeat, over 10.74 crore vulnerable entitled families, comprising approximately 50 crore individual beneficiaries. It will offer a benefit of Rs 5 lakhs per family per year, covering medical and hospitalization expenses for almost all the secondary care and most of the tertiary care procedures. When fully implemented, the scheme will become the world's largest government-funded health protection mission. The Parliament of India has taken exemplary initiative to propel the SDG agenda forward through the Speaker's Research Initiative SRI. The members of our Parliament are entitled regularly on SDGs. Indian Parliament has a very robust and comprehensive committee system to ensure the accountability of the government departments. The department-related standing committees examine annual budgets, policies, and programs of the ministries and departments assigned to them. While doing so, they monitor regularly the implementation of almost all schemes designed to achieve SDGs targets. They report their findings and recommendations, impressing upon the ministries concerned for expeditious attainment of the SDG targets. September is celebrated as National Nutrition Month in India. Supporting the clarion call of our Prime Minister on members, Honorable Speaker, Lok Sabha has urged the members of Parliament to actively engage themselves in eliminating malnutrition among women and children for ensuring a health posterity. Thanks. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'll allow for the panelists to respond to that, just briefly, if you have anything to say. Yeah.
Thank you. I think it's wonderful to see what India has launched recently. I'm aware that several other countries in the region have also launched programs. I hope actually all of you received your nutrition profiles from the Global Nutrition Report. What's also exciting is that many countries have launched strong data efforts. And so, we really look forward to seeing what the forthcoming national surveys and other things reveal about the impacts of these really, really promising initiatives. It's very clear to me that, India, which really needed to take on the nutrition agenda, has done so strongly, as have some of the other countries. As I mentioned in my remarks, I think what really does need attention is the other side of the nutrition story, the emerging overweight, obesity, even among children, the increasing consumption of ultra-processed foods, and sort of adult overweight and non-communicable diseases. So I really look forward to hearing about discussions around that too.
Thank you very much. We'll now try and connect to Dr. Sania. We're good to go? We'll allow 5 minutes for technology, and if technology is not cooperating with us, then we'll call it a day.
can you hear me? आवाज नहीं आ रही। मेरे साथ ही बैठ जाना please। हमारी आवाज कौन है?
हमारी ऑन है मैडम, बिल्कुल
तो उनकी क्यों नहीं आ रही?
तरह से शायद।
फोन करके कहें।
Hi, Dr. Sania.
Yes, I can hear you.
The sound isn't working.
I can hear you very well. ये उनको फॉलो करें। Meanwhile, आप IT से हैं?
नहीं मैडम, मैं यहाँ AD हूँ, ऑपरेशन पे।
Is the sound working?
I can hear you quite well. I can hear you well.
It's not working.
मेरा फोन दे देना, हम क्या तुमको जवाब दें या तो
I think we can conclude that didn't work. But before we go, Purnima has,
I can, because she's also from Pakistan, so I have all the details which I can share, if you like.
I mean, you can make an intervention, but
Yeah.
I don't think we can call it her.
No, not her, but of course, if same country, that's what I'm saying. But intervention, of course. Yeah, I'm just saying intervention. Shall I? Okay. Well, thank you very much, Madam Eva, for giving the opportunity. Well, I want to tell that from the Pakistan side, we strongly believe that a major responsibility lies with the Parliament in order to achieve SDG number 2, zero hunger, and SDG number 3, good health and well-being. So for that, SDG Task Force is also paying attention to SDG number 17, which means Partnership for Goals, and aim to bring together partners from civil society, academia, think tanks, and corporate sector to join hands in addressing the issues of nutrition in the country. As I've mentioned, that my another colleague, she has already mentioned about the livestock and different other things. We are trying our level best to make the collaboration among and the partnership with the public and private sector too. So it is important for us to tell you over here that the Parliamentary Task Force has further been divided into the subcommittees to look after this very serious issue and to increase the efficiency and effectiveness of our activities. Numerous bills have been presented and approved regarding food security and providing women and children with appropriate nutrition for their well-being. In that, we have a ministry for that as well. Pakistan is also, as in the morning as well, we have mentioned different programs in which the very successful program Benazir Income Support and then the health cards in which we are having up to 7 lakh till the patient, the person or anybody can, those who are having the cards, they can utilize it. In that, from our 4 provinces, we have got different bills, and especially in the legislation which is very successfully have been done, and that's the Punjab Protection of Breastfeeding and Child Nutrition Amendment Bill. Then from the same goes with the Sindh, Balochistan and Khyber Pakhtunkhwa. And then in the different other things which we are working, that especially to make women more or children more active and try to give them the proper food and looking after their nutrition side. So in that, our government commitment to human development is strong, and we believe that only way to achieving SDGs is through building system of smooth deliverance. Their widening gap between the haves and the haves not around world cannot and will not serve the interest of uniform development for all. The parliament role is imperative, is policy and institutional coherence and multi-stakeholders partnership, effective public, private and civil society partnerships, and most importantly for data monitoring and accountability. Words of our leader, fine statements of founder of Pakistan, Quaid-e-Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah, with faith, discipline and selfless devotion of duty. There is nothing worthwhile that you cannot achieve. If we want to make it this great state of Pakistan happy and prosperous, we should wholly and solely concentrate to the well-being of the people and especially of the masses of the poor. So that's it. And I think which some here in the beginning someone said that if we can work on the plastic bags, yes, we can work on the junk food. Where there is a will, there is a way. So I think when we have a strong will, so we can do, because especially in the schools, yes, we can do that and another sector. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I'll allow Purnima for 2 questions she wanted to ask the participants.
So I had 2 questions for the panelists, and they may not be in your prepared remarks, but the first is each one of you aware of the levels of malnutrition in all its forms in your constituencies? Do you have the data that tells you how your constituencies are doing? So that's one question, and it would be interesting to know how you're using that. The second is whether in any of the parliaments you have introduced any kinds of legislation related to, I did hear about maternity leave for the first 6 months, which is obviously very supportive of malnutrition by supporting breastfeeding. But has there been any introduction of bills related to regulation of marketing of junk foods, either just in general in public or around schools? So countries in other regions, they have done a lot of work on that. On labeling of foods, so it would be interesting to know if in any of your parliaments you have initiated the processes of labeling. And the last is on taxation, so sugar taxes in particular. And I raise these 3 legislative tools, regulation of marketing, labeling, and sugar taxes, because in other regions of the world, particularly in Latin America, there is actually research showing that this has worked to start to slow down overweight and to improve and reduce the consumption of some of these unhealthy foods. So I would be very interested to know if these topics have been coming up in your parliaments.
Shall I? Okay, I would really like to answer your question.
Before we do start though, can I ask each respondent to limit themselves to just 2 minutes, please, because we have to be very wary of time. Thank you.
Yeah, sure. I would really like to tell you that in Pakistan, in the SDGs task force, we have, along with our parliamentarians, it's a task force completely, in that we are very much well connected with our local governments. So from the local governments and from the provinces, we all are being integrated, and that way we are getting the data, and everyone in our SDG secretariat, the member of the parliament, they can see, according to the chart, that what's going on in their constituency and how much the data and the level of that. And then as you ask about the maternity leave, yes, we do have in Pakistan this leave system as well, and with the salary as well. And then we are having on the workplaces, we are having child care centers as well, and which are being looking after and it's been implemented. So that is another thing. And then about the junk food, I don't say that very successfully, but yes, we do have other number of legislation and things which I can share, or either I can email you. If we can exchange our emails, that I can do very properly to you. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Madam Chairperson, I think I have given in details what is kind of steps we have taken, but I would like to add, recently our parliament has passed Consumer Protection Act. It's after a long time, we have after 2.5 decades it has been passed. It has strict provisions for adulterated foods. So I think this will have a very big impact so far as quality food is concerned, and junk food, that problem will be addressed by this legislative method, we are sure. Thank you. This is for your information.
Thank you very much. I think that's it for today. I'll see you all for dinner and some music. Please be at the jetty by 6:30 p.m., jetty number 1. I think your protocol officers will be able to guide you. See you in about an hour and a half. 6:30? 6:30 p.m. Did I say 5:30? 6:30 p.m. we depart at the jetty.